we are on the subject of Candace Owens, I do need to make a correction in a video that I made yesterday, which went through Candace Owens's apparent housing assets that I got from Nathan Livingston of Milk Bar TV. So Nathan has since made a correction saying that he needed to do a little bit more research before making those those statements, right? And meaning that they weren't entirely accurate. So he's come out and apologized and said that he needs to do better. And I respect Nathan for doing that. And I also need to relay the same information to you guys. But in that being said, while Nathan may not have necessarily got all of the portfolio of her houses correct, what he did do was highlight the fact that Candace Owens is still indeed a millionaire, and so is her husband, George Farmer, who it's not entirely unreasonable to think that she does have a number of properties, or even her husband has a number of properties to go off. So, I don't think Nathan was too far off, to be honest. But nevertheless, we want to tell the truth, and we want to be people that are accountable as well. And obviously, truth seekers can come out and say the truth, unlike Candy Owens, for example, who has continuously published a number of things that are untrue. And that's why this video, I guess we're going to call it Candace Owens becoming a liar, or the becoming of a liar, I guess you could call her, because that's exactly what she is, a liar. And she's become very, very dangerous. So even Patrick Bet-David and his team this morning were talking about Candace Owens going after Nick Fuentes. And look, both of them, it's like 2-year-olds fighting against each other. It's loads of people, though, are actually siding with Nick Fuentes because they can't stand Candy Owens. And Candy Owens it's just like, who is really telling the truth? Who you can really trust in this case? I can't trust either of them, to be honest with you, but I don't trust Candace Owens. I trust Nick Fuentes more than I trust Candace Owens, believe it or not. But nevertheless, I always tell people to look for consistency. If you can find someone that is very, very consistent in their words throughout the course of, their career, what they've been saying, they haven't changed too much at all. And there's been a couple of things that they've realized and they've let you know why they've changed their opinion on something, so be it. But if they've gone completely 180 left field, like changed dramatically, then you've got to worry, like, what's going on, right? So Candace Owens is a very good liar. I have made a number of videos now exposing a number of her lies, and people are going, well, I would love to see you guys all eat your words when she is proven right. She is vindicated. Well, she made an entire series accusing someone of being something that they're actually not. And yet, how did she get her evidence, you may ask? A photo. Now, the brilliant Coleman Hughes. So if you don't know who Coleman Hughes is, you need to know who Coleman Hughes is. He's a very, very intellectual being. We'll just say that, right? I enjoy his content very, very much. He is joining the Free Press, which is Barry Weiss's company, I believe, which Candy Owens absolutely hates. She hates Barry Weiss, just pointing that out. So this is going to piss her off even more, ladies and gentlemen. But Coleman Hughes created a 4-minute long clip dismantling. It only took 4 minutes and 30 seconds, people. But he'd spent 4 minutes and 30 seconds dismantling Candace Owens' entire Brigitte Macron argument and said, have we really gotten to that point in society where a lie, a grift, gets millions of views for an 8-part series? And her entire thing is, well, you haven't watched my 8-part series that I did of Brigitte Macron, so you don't know Jack. Well, unfortunately, we had to slog through the 8-part series, and a bunch of it, in fact, all of it, is this provocative style documentary to move you a little bit, to make you feel certain things. And that's what documentary style things do. They make you feel things, right? They make you think a certain thing. usually. It's usually one-sided. It's not double-sided. It's one-sided. And it's going to make you think a certain way. So evidently, it's going to make you think, for the most part, oh, Brigitte Macron was born a man. But Trogno, he gave the identity away. Oh, something along those lines. You can't keep up with it nowadays. And guess what? She is crying poor because she got a bill. She got an estimate of a bill that will be coming. Millions of dollars, and she doesn't have millions of dollars, so she's going to sell shirts. And then she goes after Trump. And like all these things, she's spiraling out of control because that's what grifters do. She doesn't want to spend her own money. She just wants to spend your money effectively while she can still live high. She wants to spend your money. She doesn't care about the truth. Unlike Nathan Livingston, who I actually really respect for deleting the video and making a correction. And I made a correction. I'm not going to delete the video, considering that everything that I said in that video, aside from the portfolio stuff, and I'm making a correction, it's all accurate. She's still a millionaire. So, and we don't actually know if she has that many houses. So, I mean, Nathan got it from somewhere. Don't know where, but still, it may still be somewhat accurate. We don't know. That's the thing. We don't know. And the other thing is, with the whole Brigitte Macron thing, we can't trust Candace Owens at all. Because to me, and even to Coleman Hughes, the evidence is just proving that she's a crazy dingbat. Have a watch of this.
I thought our culture had reached peak conspiracy, but thanks to Candace Owens, we've now reached new heights.
I would stake my entire professional career on the fact that Brigitte Macron, the current First Lady of France, was born a man.
Her 8-part video series has amassed millions of views on YouTube in the past few months.
Welcome back to our Becoming Brigitte series.
The story that Candace spins in Becoming Brigitte has all the hallmarks of art house cinema. Once upon a time in post-World War II France, there was a man who yearned to be a woman.
His name was Jean-Michel Trogno.
He socially transitioned and even appeared on a French TV show advocating for trans rights. But French society did not allow legal gender transition at the time. Then one day, his younger sister Brigitte became ill, and as her dying gift, she gave her identity to him. So he began living as Brigitte sometime in his 30s, and through a series of serendipitous events, wound up becoming the First Lady of France. And because this is a French story, it has to involve incest somehow, so sure enough, Candace ends the series by insinuating,
is Brigitte Macron the First Lady of France, Emmanuel Macron's biological father?
Now, to be clear, this story is exactly as insane as it sounds, and there's no evidence to support it. The closest that Candace comes to presenting evidence is her analysis of a family photo in which a young Jean-Michel, pictured on the far left, bears a strong resemblance to the current First Lady of France. Of course, several other members of the family bear a strong resemblance too, including her older sister, pictured on the top right, and of course Brigitte herself, pictured on her mother's lap. Nevertheless, Candace believes that the resemblance between young Jean-Michel and modern-day Brigitte is so strong that no other explanation is possible.
Jean-Michel Trogno took little Brigitte's name and is pretending to be Brigitte when obviously, no, it's just a dude.
To add an air of scientific precision to this theory, Candace uses a piece of facial recognition software called Face++,
which the World Economic Forum has rated the #1 facial detection software. It's the same program that is used by China.
She claims that according to this software, which she touts as extremely accurate, photos of a young Jean-Michel Trogno are a strong match for recent photos of Brigitte Macron, but photos of a young Brigitte are not a match.
The text says, no, nope, not happening, sorry, ain't her.
So I decided to test the reliability of Face++ by getting an account and playing with it for a bit. It was not long before it made a huge error. According to Face++, these two photos are not the same person, except that they're both photos of me. So either Face++ is not very reliable, or my dad has some explaining to do. Is his software accurate enough to identify people correctly much of the time? Sure. Is it accurate enough to prove a case of swapped identity in elderly siblings using grainy childhood photos? Not even close.
There's no question upon seeing this technology, in my mind, that Jean-Michel Trogneau is Brigitte Macron.
Besides the fact that her entire theory is based on this unreliable software, Candace's story also has some glaring plot holes. For one thing, Jean-Michel Trogneau, Brigitte's brother, is still alive. And we know he's alive because he was present at both of Emmanuel Macron's inaugurations in 2017 and 2022.
We are told that this little chubby guy is the extraordinarily private Jean-Michel, all grown up. Now, I can tell you right off the bat, in case you're wondering, the World Economic Forum Chinese software program says no, that is not the Jean-Michel that we are looking for, of a little boy in the photo. I can show you this match right here. The confidence is 54%. The
Macrons have filed a defamation lawsuit against Owens in Delaware, accusing her of promulgating outlandish, defamatory, and far-fetched fictions. As with all die-hard conspiracy theorists, I'm sure Candace will come up with clever workarounds for the plot holes in her story. Meanwhile, the rest of us should answer some equally hard questions. What does it say about our information ecosystem that such an insane conspiracy theory can rack up millions of views? And how do we restore sanity and common sense to the public sphere?
Now, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm going to use a program that the World Economic Forum has said is one of the smartest apps, or pretty much the most accurate app you can get, when it comes from the World Economic Forum, I personally am not going to trust anything. But Candace Owens claims to be a conservative, right? Claims to be skeptical of certain things from the World Economic Forum. Nah, I'm going to trust everything the World Economic Forum has to say now because it feeds into my little narrative. What's the source reference you're going to have? The World Economic Forum. Because, yes, we can definitely trust the World Economic Forum, can't we? They haven't lied at all. Just like Candace Owens claims that she has not lied. Candace Owens is not a liar, people. And if she was a liar, she would admit it, wouldn't she? That's her entire argument. You got to prove that she's lying, which we have done, and even Coleman News does. So the whole claim is based around a photo. So I can create an entire series, an 8-part series based around one photo. It's quite clever, isn't it? And make the entire world believe that someone is someone else. It's not all what you think it is. And of course, it plays on people's lack of trust nowadays, doesn't it? And conspiracy theories, we know that they get propped up a lot. So all credit to Candace Owens, right, for going on the grift of conspiracy theorists. But according to Candace Owens, she's right. And everyone else is wrong. And if anyone says that Candace Owens is wrong, you're a hater. And apparently one day we're going to end up eating our own words. I think there's lots of smart people out there in the world that know she is a grifter. She's full of herself, and she's going to be ended up being bankrupt. Not if people buying her shirts can help it. That's for sure. She earns millions, not just from her show alone, but she's earned millions of dollars being a grifter, being a liar. How about that, right? So if I wanted to be just like Candace Owens and I wanted to make millions of dollars lying, because that's what she does, very good at it, she's a commentator, right? When you're very good with your words, you're very good at spinning things, you're sounding smart when you're actually pretty dumb, yeah, you're going to make lots of money. But what's your reputation? Oh, to few million people, 4 million something people, you've got a pretty pretty decent reputation. But to the rest of the world, you've got a bad one. So Candace Owens, the series, Becoming a Liar. Introduction, part 1. It all started, well, it didn't all start with her going after Brigitte Macron. That's just a little part of the story. Then we can get into her lies about Trump. Then we can get into her lies about Israel. Then we can get into her lies about Harvey Weinstein. Then we can get into her lies. There's just too many to count, isn't there? So many. I mean, I can make an entire 8-part series. We can just start right now with Brigitte Macron as being part 1. And we can get into part 2, Israel. Part 3, Trump. Part 4, Nick Fuentes. The list can go on and on and on, can't it? And she wants to say that Nathan Livingston is a deranged human being. At least she got the human part right. So, Nathan, if you're watching this, mate, I salute you. Badge of honor. Bloody well done. Keep up the amazing work. That's it from me, you guys. Take care. Be blessed. And I'll see you all in the next video.